Hello everybody and welcome to Dynamic GT League's Thor series for race 9, the championship decider from the DGT Seaside. 3.24 miles, 19 corners, red on the tyre indicator, but not as red as it was last week. A few now famous corner names, but still a few corners yet to be named around this track. But it is one of the best tracks on GT Sport, at least we like it, that's why we stole the name. Or I should say, we've given it a name. Current championship standings, Demon R leading the way, 151 points, ahead of Steve F1 137. Then we've got the battle for third, SGP in third, Artpal fourth, Conrad fifth, Jason sixth, a bit of a gap then to Twilight in seventh. And then we've got Formula Gary, Jimmy, Dave, Rich, SRI, Hey, Fluffy, Bunsel and Mitch. Still plenty to fight for, especially around that 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th and 10th. Quick look then at the qualifying result for the final race of the series. Demon R taking pole position once again on 1 minute 20.060. Steve F1 just over 2 tenths away from pole. On row 2 we've got Conrad 0.357 and then Twilight just under half a second off the pole time, but still very, very close on the lap times. SGP, he'll start in 5th place, only just over half a second off pole, with Dave the Harp joining him on row 3 in 6th place, 0.7 off the lead lap. Art Powell, he'll start in 7th place alongside Jason, 0.008 between them on lap time. There's hardly anything between them. It's 0.008 that's between them. Formula Gary will start in 9th place and he'll be joined by Rich Blues, who qualifies, puts a lap time in around the DGT Seaside, a track that he knows well. Unfortunately, as this series has featured a few drivers unable to make the race this week, SRI unable, Bunsel, Mitch, Hay and a couple of others, Jimmy unable. It's just the way it is, unfortunately, given the time of the year, we believe, with a few people on holiday but also a few people having personal situations to deal with. Hopefully though we'll see a few more drivers on the grid after the Dirty Championship. Well, it's been a fantastic season so far. It's not over yet. There's one more race to go, and if the rest of the season is anything to go by, we're in for one hell of a finale. So here we go. Let's hand over to our commentators. So here we go there, DGT Seaside Championship decider. And Ray, I heard you like to count.
1 red light, 2 red light, 3 red lights, 4 red lights, 5 red lights, and hold.
Away they go! Set you up for good at that. Count DGT. Demon R's got a decent start ahead of Steve F1. Conrad trying to, Twilight trying to attack Conrad down into turn 1. Can't quite get it done though. No, he can't. Twilight holds on. Or is it actually Twilight making the move on Conrad? I can't remember. But yeah, Dave the Harp's now gained places. SGP's dropped a few.
Twilight overtook Conrad there. Sorry, I had to check the qualifying results there.
Conrad's got back past him though. Dave the Harp on a bit of a hunt. Artpal side by side now with SGP as they head towards the S's. Such a fast section of the track and flat out in these cars. Potentially flat out as well, even while the tyres are worn. Steve F1 though going for the lead of the race straight away on lap 1 down into the harbour hairpin, and he gets the move done on the power. Or does he? Because Demon R's coming back at him. Or he does just manage to get ahead as they go through Mitch's bombhole. The fastest we've probably been through here in a long time. Oh, I thought it was with the wall.
Yeah, I thought it was going to hit Mitch's bombhole there. But yeah, these two are on for a fight for the championship, so let's see what happens.
Absolutely. Dave Harp on the pack cam coming under a bit of pressure from SGP trying to make a move, and behind Dave the Harp, who is that? I think that's Art Powell. Demon R's got a run on Steve F1 though. Here we go. Goes to what will be the outside for turn 1. We don't really call the kick turn 1. This is turn 1, so the lead changes hands again. SGP still trying to make the move on Dave. Artpal comes in to try and do it as well. I think Artpal may have backed out of it. Yes, he has. So perhaps there was a little bit too much contact there for a clean overtake. Dave the Harp definitely coming under a lot of pressure now into Brokeback.
Yeah, he's got four cars behind him, all waiting to pounce on him.
Absolutely.
That's the most he's ever had pouncing on him.
Well, you never know what happens on a camping holiday.
Twilight coming up over the S's and flat out. Is he going to go for the move, hard on the brakes? No, he's just staying in behind Conrad. Do you think he's letting Conrad burn up his tyres? Because remember the track, Matt, details was this was a red tyre.
Yeah, it could be. Steve F1's got a bit of a run on Demon R, but he's gone for the bump draft instead, and I'm not surprised. I doubt Steve F1 is going to attempt an overtake into the final corner unless we're on the last lap of the race and he needs to make the move. He's more than likely going to make the move down into Demon's elbow in turn 1. On the pack cam, Art Powell got Rich. Jason going for the pit lane. What was that noise? I think I've just heard a Swede on a wall. Maybe
what did it sound like?
Either that or it was...
lost a place to Dave the Hart.
Unless shit, no, you did the wall.
No, he's not pitted. Art Powell trying to get onto SGP's... SGP had a moment somewhere?
He might have done, you know. He might have done. Okay, so you were mentioning about Twilight's tyres. Oh, who's that? Gary. Gary having a look at the side of our pile. They can do it side by side. Be brave, boys. You can do it. We may see a little bit of door banging through those corners. It's the nature of the track, I reckon. SGP going for the move down into the harbour hairpin. Gary trying to make the move on Art Pal as well. Has he got it done? At the moment, yes, but he's on the tighter line. Rich trying to come through as well. Can't quite get it done. Or can he? The side by side through the bubble.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody as well. So.
Gary's just created a fissure on Mitch's bomb.
Dave the Harp tried to come back through on SGP's, tried to take the tighter line, but SGP had it covered.
That it is. 2 cars in the pits. I think we've got Rich Blues and Jason in the pits. Demon R, is he making a move on Steve F1 for the lead? No. I'm surprised he didn't go for that. You mentioned about Twilight's tyres a little while ago. I think you might be right. I think Twilight's just biding his time at the moment. Steve F1 and Demon R, well, to be fair, we're 4 minutes in. That's not a lot of tyre wear, is it, really? So they can easily do 10 minutes. But I think a 2-stop will be perhaps the best way around this track today. But it depends on how much the drivers overheat their tyres. Has Demon R got a bit of a run on Steve F1? Yes, he has. And it was Richard Jason that pitted there on the pack cam. Demon R not going for it down into the harbour. Twilight's right up Conrad's rear wing.
Yeah, they two have had a wee battle since the start of this race. Oh, Demon R just kissing the wall there. It's the only time he's had sparks flying.
Well, yeah, during a kiss anyway. I don't know. It's almost as rare as a lion sleeping at night. Okay.
See, Demon R's get the slipstream in the run. Is he going to go for it into turn 1?
He's done it. Instead of going for the outside, he's done it. Stephen gone for the inside this time. Change the lead. Is Steve F1 going to be able to come back at him? No, not on this occasion.
Yeah, I think Steve F1 took too much curb on the second part of that chicane, and it just kind of upset his car.
Oh, did it tell him a bad joke?
He probably did.
Oh, Dave
the Harp.
I didn't see all of it. I just saw him all of a sudden going past. I think he may be letting Art Powell past. Is Art Powell? Yeah, Art Powell's ahead. So maybe Dave is letting him through because he wouldn't back off that much. So perhaps Dave felt he went in a bit hot. I didn't see all of what happened. Steve F1's got a run, but look at Conrad. Steve F1 going for the move. Conrad's in on the battle for the lead now as well. Steve F1 on the tighter line. You have to be so careful in these cars on that tight line. It's so easy to lose the rear. But Conrad's definitely in this now, right?
Yeah, that's what happens when the front two start battling with each other. They've now let Conrad in. Or it could be a tactic that is Demon R slowed the pace down a bit to bring Conrad in to annoy Steve F1.
Or has Steve F1 done that to bring Conrad in? Because Steve F1 needs cars between himself and Demon R. Steve F1 making the move. I think Conrad may have a run here as well. Yes, we're going to go 3 wide into Demon's elbow with Demon R in the middle and nowhere to go. Steve F1 takes the lead. Conrad, does he take second place? Yes, he will. He's got the faster line out the corner. What a fantastic bit of racing.
Now Steve F1 could add a more spice to this and slow it down and bring Twilight in.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Oh, Demon R, I think, got a little bit wobbly on the pack cam. SGP still with Art Pal behind him. I don't think we're really into pit stop strategy range at the moment, Ray, but I don't think we're too far away. I suppose the interesting thing is to look at the guy's tyre wear now, I suppose. Conrad, that's pretty good, to be fair, at this point. Could he go another 6 minutes or 5 minutes? Maybe. I reckon he should try. Demon R got a bit of a run on the outside, can't get it done. On the pack cam, Dave the Arp and somebody side by side. I think it was Gary, Dave the Arp making the move. Oh, Steve F1 was slowed through the bomb hole. Connor's got a run on him. Maybe he was trying what you said, Ray, trying to sort of slow the pace down. If he was, it hasn't worked because he's lost 2 places.
Yeah, he must have slowed it down too much.
Oh!
Well, slowed himself down too much and it's just caught. He's got his self out with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But he's getting a run back on Conrad. And what this is doing is they're burning their tyres as well, so this is making interesting, a wee bit of lock up there. Somebody's rear, I don't know who it was.
Well, yeah, looking at Demon R's tyres, Demon R's, I think, has got a little bit more wear than Conrad at the moment. And interestingly, Twilight is closing the gap on these 3 at the front. Oh, yeah, let's see what his tyre wear's like.
And I think it's too much for Steve F1 to slow it down that much that the pack come into it. I think at most Twilight is the only one that will get on the back here. Quite
possibly. Oh, someone in the S's on the pack cam. I think it might have been Art Pal big off. Jason have to pit in early twice, or tried to, is now caught up to SGP. So, yeah, Jason on a different strategy, making the move on SGP. Here is that battle now. Jason with the much fresher tyres. Side by side they go. Is he going to go around the outside? Through the bomb hole? Yes, he is! Holy guacamole! I was trying
he has a pilot, so he's quite a bit brave.
Yeah.
It's, who else is trying to get in that battle?
Well, Demon R is now trying to attack Conrad. Jason's heading into the pit. What? He does such an overtake and then goes into the pits. Demon R, is he ahead of Conrad? No, Conrad's coming back at him. Side by side they go. Demon R on the tighter line. That'll compromise his exit. And here comes Twilight.
I've seen a lot of dust as well, so I wasn't too sure if Conrad had spun himself.
Twilight opened his wallet, that's what it was.
Demon R's losing places. He won't be liking this.
No, absolutely not. Oh, there's Demon R's just opened his wallet. But yeah, so I mean, Demon R is plummeting a bit. Maybe he's overcooked the tyres. I mean, the tyre wear level isn't that much, but maybe he's put too much of a heat cycle. Because it's one of the things around this track, Ray. Oh, Twilight's really on the push now. If you start getting understeer and then you start sliding more, it can be extremely difficult to get the car slowed down and get it turning. Twilight has got slightly better tyre wear. He's really all over the back of Conrad. Twilight's in a great situation here.
Yeah, he's getting stuck in here, and you see that's him pass Conrad, but then he's giving Conrad the slipstream down the straight, so we'll look for Conrad to come back, unless Conrad bum drafts up to try and get a gap to Demon R, but
maybe.
I don't think it's going to work as well with Demon R and the slipstream. Demon R locking up.
Yeah, so maybe that's where part of his tyre wear is coming from. So Twilight managing to hold on to the position. You might be right, Conrad might be bump drafting.
Twilight's tyre wear's nearly a bit more than Demon R's.
Ooh, Conrad! Conrad's going to be a bit knackered now. Side by side, they're going to go. I don't know if Connor knows you can go side by side through there flat out. So he's backed out of it. Demon R's tyres have taken a lot more punishment than Twilight. I think you were right earlier on, Ray, that Twilight was just biding his time. Also, Steve F1 has pulled away now. So whereas Demonar and Conrad seem to be losing a bit of lap time, Steve F1 has been able to pick the pace up, or at least keep the pace. I'm sure that's the title of the song. But yeah, so I thought Conrad was hitting the barrier on the wall on the was it the left or the right? I can't remember. The left.
Maybe Steve F1 wanted the slow laps for them two to catch up, and then he could push as well, as we see Demon Conrad into the pits. Well, at this point, that's on for a two-stop strategy. Pit around about 13 minutes. The thing is, as Jason is closing in on Dave the Harp, obviously we've been focusing a lot on the battle up at the front in this opening sort of 10 minutes. Not entirely sure what strategies people are on a little bit further back. Don't know when Dave pitted or if he's pitted. SGP, I don't know if he's pitted yet. Jason's pitted about 4 times. He's on a Chinese strategy.
Ah, right, okay.
What you are?
I thought it was Wong Ting.
What
you just got that. I think that's probably my funniest joke I've ever told, actually. Yeah, Jason making the move on Dave the Harp. Rich Blue's attacking SGP as well. I've got a feeling.
Dave the Harp having a walk. Oh, Dave the Harp cut to wall as well.
I think SGP and Rich Blues have got worn tyres. Dave having a good battle, trying to come back at.
Conrad's tyres.
I didn't see.
They were well and truly smoked. Is he carried on?
He has. Twilight, Steve F1, both in the pits.
He's going to lose out in the pit stops if these are putting a lap early and his tyres are that cooked. Like, he only had, I think, just under 25% left on his tyres.
Oh, Dave the Harp having a look, can't quite get it done. Jason manages to hold on. Well, I was going to mention as well that Demonar, when he pitted, if he's punished his tyres too much in that first stint, he'll know that he needs to not push this particular set of tyres to make this next stint work. Difficulty is, he'll probably feel like he needs to make overtakes, as he's making one now on SGP side by side.
At this pit stop, he's got the undercut on Steve F1.
Absolutely.
Steve F1's 2 cars by.
Yeah, it's there, look. So, obviously, Demonar's pitted perhaps a lap earlier than some may have expected to get that undercut, as Artpal and SGP are now side by side. I've got a feeling SGP still hasn't pitted, you know. I think his tyres are knackered. Here comes Steve F1. And I'm saying that because of how easy these guys are coming past SGP with the much, much fresher tyres. I think Conrad's going to be losing a lot of time here, though, Ray. These guys are catching quickly. Steve F1 closing in on Artpal. Steve F1's in a situation where he could really do with getting past Artpal, but a bit like Demonar, doesn't need to be going and destroying his tyres.
Conrad's going to come out right at the back of this pack, I reckon. He's just went into the pits. So, how long's a pit stop? 20 seconds?
40.
He's on. Oh, well, he's just hit his pit box.
Steve F1.
He's coming out last.
Yeah, he is, but he will have the freshest tyres. So Steve F1 manages to get past Artpal. Dave the Harp, wibbly wobbly curb. Oh, well done. He's done well to not end up facing the wrong direction there. That's allowed Demon Art past as well. Dave's got dirty tyres. We can see the dirt on him, on them. Oh, big sideways slide as well as Steve F1 now coming past. So, yeah, Dave may sort of think about heading to the pits again soon. But an interesting sort of phase of the race.
His tyres aren't that bad, it's just the heat cycle he's putting through them.
Yeah, the dirty heat cycle. Twilight, obviously he lost a bit of ground as well, and he's in the pack, but this is where Twilight really needs to have that sort of zen-like focus of don't push hard now, because he can still catch up to the guys ahead. He just needs to not kill his tyres. So yeah, so a lot changing around in that first sort of round of pit stops up the front. Jason now leads the race as Artpal having a look up the inside of Dave the Harp. Can't quite see what's happening.
Hurry!
Oh, I hope Dave isn't wanting the pits. Jason in the pits. How many times has Jason pitted? SGP's in the pits.
try to beat SGP's from last week.
He could well be. Davey Arp up the inside of Twilight, and Arpal, he's having a look. Can't quite get the move done, but he does get it done on Twilight. Gary hunting. He had a brilliant race last week, even though he got a penalty. And he's here hunting again as Dave trying to fend off Twilight.
Dave the Harp's a defender. Arpal's got past him, and now Twilight's trying to get past him, but he's like Gary through.
Oh, that he has. And here comes Conrad on the fresher tyres. And, I mean, yes, Conrad's lost a lot of ground, but he's got, obviously, a shorter time to do on his stints now. So maybe he can push that little bit more. Looking on the pack cam, is that Steve F1 closing in on Demon R? Yes, it is. Oh, Conrad having a look between Twilight and Gary, thinks better of it.
Yeah, Conrad just doesn't want to get into that phase like you were saying for Twilight, where they push too hard and burn their tyres.
Absolutely. And I wouldn't be surprised as well. Twilight's got a really good run on Dave as someone tagged the wall there. Twilight's going to go for the move up the inside into the final corner. He might have to be a little bit brave on the brakes here, but not as brave as Dave, although Dave may run a little bit wide on the exit. Yeah, Twilight's got a nice switchback. These two are going to have to be careful because they've got 3 cars behind them all ready to pounce.
Yeah, and jump to the leaders. I wanted to stay at that. Look at the leaders.
Well, it's on the pack. It's on the pack cam. Oh, Gary! He's gone in deep. He's hit Dave, and Dave's into the barrier. So Gary's waited for him. Go on.
That's like Conrad.
Yeah, it
not
has.
have to overtake 2 cars, so Conrad can push that wee bit to catch back up with Twilight.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, I was going to mention that with Demon R, obviously he, as mentioned, will not have wanted to push too much on this set of tyres, so I don't think he'll mind Steve F1 catching up at the moment because it's all about making his tyres last. Steve F1 makes the move through the harbour hairpin. Now Demon Arnold just needs to try and hang on, really, as Conrad has got Jason. Jason recently pit him, so Conrad's going to have to be careful. Steve F1's already pulled out a gap on Demon R.
Yeah, he's not waiting about in case anything happens. And here comes Twilight on Arpal. Down to not stopping.
Not Twilight going for the move. Nice overtake done. Twilight's on fire in this race, and he's absolutely flying. Arpal there peeling off into the pits. Arpal may be on a 3-stop strategy, pitting at 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes. I think the 3 or 2 can work around here. On a 3-stop, you can really push. Just don't kill the tyres. I mean, you can push, but on the 2-stop, you do have to be a little bit careful. And there's no way anyone's doing the 1-stop. Who's that? Is that Gary? Yeah, no, it's SGP.
SGP, oh!
He's just flashing his belly to the fans there.
Yeah, you hit that curb wrong and it sends you up in the air, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah.
That's good.
That
wouldn't have helped the Thor when he landed.
Well, no, it wouldn't. There's now a hole in the bottom of his car.
Especially with SGP in it.
Rich, I'm going for the move into the hairpin. Can he do it? Oh, he's on the tighter line. Not able to do it. You're right, though, with that curve. You clobber it wrong, though, and it does send you up in the air. Talking about air, if you could ever go into space, would you?
Yeah.
Oh, Rich Blues, he's having another look. Can't quite get it done, but he's hunting. Twilight may have to be a little bit careful here, on the pack. Twilight's going for the pitch. I think Twilight's gone for a change of strategy, I think he's changed from a 2-stop to a 3-stop. And I was going to say, you've got to be careful because these guys were catching him up. So I think Twilight's opted to go for clear track and boost.
It seems that way, but I don't know how it's going to work because he's going to end up catching up with these and then having to rebattle, and then his next pit stop's going to kind of be just after these guys on 2-stop.
Side by side. Oh no, they're not side by side. SGP must be on the fresher tyres over Jason now. So SGP was able to make that move. Steve F1's pulled out a big gap on Demon R on the pack.
They did it at the same time.
Who did, SGP and Jason?
Yeah.
Oh, right. did not know that. And if I did, I forgot, even though it would have.
Yeah, and then but I said that he's trying to beat SGP's time pit stop from last week. Well, SGP was in the pits at the same time.
Fair enough. Okay, through Mitch's bomb hole they go. So who is it? I mean, Conrod's only just ahead of these guys, isn't he? So the front two have got a bit of a gap to Conrod. Conrod coming under a bit of pressure, but to be fair, I mean, let's see. Conrod's been on his tyres for 8 minutes-ish, 9 minutes. On the pack cam, looks like we're going on board with Demon R. Maybe on the pack cam, we'll be able to see why he's not able to keep pace with Steve F1. SGP got a run on Conrod. You know, I'm looking at the pack car, I'm thinking that Demon R's got quite a bit of understeer. I thought SGP was going to have quite a bit of understeer there as well.
Yeah, I think he's just trying to get Conrad to make a mistake. He's going to be wide there. Try to get. He's not even. He doesn't look to be attacking hard, does he?
No, he looks like he is trying to get get Conrad to look in his mirrors. Down the hill they go. You know what? I'm just looking at the pack cam. SGP making the move, but he's not really going for it there, is he? I was looking at Demon R in the harbour hairpin. Masses of understeer, so I think he's pretty much cooked his tyres. Jason and Artpal side by side. It's Artpal trying to attack Jason. Artpal with a decent run here. I think SGP and Conrad maybe side by side. Yes, they are. Here they are. Side by side, they go into the final corner. Now SGP's gone for the move, but Conrad will probably say, thank you very much. I'll have your slipstream, and I'll come back past you. Artpal has made the move on Jason as well, as they're side by side down the main straight now, SGP and Conrad.
Yeah, SGP and Jason have near enough the same tyre wear, so yeah, they pitted at the same time as Conrad comes back at SGP. Maybe SGP will be right, okay. I won't take you to the last corner, I'll wait till the first corner next time.
Yeah, or wait for or go for it at the hairpin. Artpal pulling away from Jason a little bit. Twilight has now caught up to the back of Jason. What's that taken? About 3 minutes for Twilight to catch up, but now he's going to be on much fresher tyres than Jason, Artpal, SGP, Conrad. So maybe he's played a bit of a blinder here, right?
Yeah, it could be. It could be a blinder. We don't know yet.
Oh,
There's
SGP
so much
going for it into the harbour hairpin. I thought that's where he might go. Oh, Conrad! Oh, he was eager to get the power down there, wasn't he?
Yeah, that's just kind of cooked his tyres. SGP does have the better tyres, but Conrad's just cooked his tyres. So if Conrad's thinking of putting soon, then Twilight will be ahead of him, but it depends on the end.
I think Conrad's going to need to go a few more. Demon R's in the pits. With 15 minutes, Jason's in the... Well, I'm not surprised Jason's in the pits. By the way, Twilight has just passed Artpal. Conrad, SGP, side by side once again. What an amazing battles we're having here. Conrad up the inside, makes the move. SGP will look for a switchback. Artpal manages to fend off Twilight. But yeah, Demon R pitting at the time he did, that's a surprise. SGP, nips a wheel. Can he survive? Yes, he can. Conrad will have to be careful of losing the rear on the tight line here once again. Artpal, Twilight still side by side, nearly on at the pack cam. Two brilliant battles going on here. It's absolutely epic. But yeah, for Demon R to pit at that point, 15 minutes to go, Ray. I don't think he can get to the end, not with how his stints have been going so far.
Yeah, unless he pulls something out the bag, but yeah, he might get to the end, but he'll be slow.
SGP goes for the move in the hairpin again.
Artpal defending big time against Twilight. Twilight won't be liking that.
No, but Artpal might need to, because if he can hold Twilight up now, it'll benefit Artpal when he makes his next pit stop. Conrad and SGP are still battling side by side. Conrad goes into the final. Steve F1 now in the pits. So Steve F1 reacting perhaps to Demon R pitting. Oh, okay, this could be interesting. Conrad then's going to take the lead of the race, but here comes SGP to try and steal it off him.
Yeah, and I wonder if the difference between Steve F1 and Demon R, because I remember Demon R got the undercut the last time, and it looks like he's got the undercut again as Steve F1 is behind him.
Yeah, he is. Looking on the pack cam, Demon R is behind Dave the Harp and Rich Blues as they are battling through a Brokeback. So SGP now leading. I think Conrad must have had a moment somewhere. I didn't see it, I wasn't looking. Twilight and Art Pal, they're still battling side by side. And then we've got Dave the Harp and Demon R. Demon R catching up to Dave quite quickly.
Twilight's tyres are still pretty decent for these battles. So.
Yeah, considering that he's been on them for a good 7 minutes. Demon R has made the move on Dave the Harp, by the way.
I don't think he would get to the end, so maybe he just wants to put in clear Conrad and put quick lap times in and just burn up these tyres so he's got a fresh set of tyres, maybe 8 minutes to go or something. On Art Pal making the move into the final corner. Nothing Art Pal can do about that. Twilight, did he get Conrad? Is he going to pits?
No, it's not. SGP is. I think Twilight thought. I think he thought about going in the pits. Jason is 3 wide with a couple of people. Conrad and Twilight side by side into turn 1. Demon R right in that battle now. Passes Twilight. Steve F1 is right behind them as well. So Demon R's got the undercut. 3 wide.
What a move round outside.
Be brave.
Somebody's hit the curb.
Demon R now up the inside of Conrad. Conrad, remember as well. He's on worn tyres. Steve F1, Demon R on fresh tyres. I'm wondering whether Demon R's playing sort of a bit of silly buggers here in a way. I'm thinking he may have changed strategy is what I'm thinking. Demon R trying to make a move on Twilight now, down towards the harbour hairpin. And if he has changed strategies, he needs to get a shift on.
I think he's doing the same as what Twilight's doing, but he's making it work a wee bit better because he's getting past so many cars quicker than what Twilight's been able to do.
Absolutely, but he is going to have another pit stop to make. SGP, it's Twilight. It's Twilight, sorry.
Twilight's still got another pit stop to do. I don't think his tyres will get him to the end.
I absolutely agree with you. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. The question then will be... Demon R's in the pits again. And Conrad pits. Okay, right, we'll get to that in a moment. Twilight all over the back of Steve F1. I thought Demon R might be playing silly buggers, and I think I know what has just happened there. What that might be, Ray, is pit, 15 minutes to go, make Steve F1 pit the lap after to cover him off, but pit again with 10 minutes to go. Steve F1 has a long stint on his tyres. Demon R hopes Steve F1's tyres are knackered by the end of the race. Might work, might not work, we're going to find out, but
depends if Steve F1 pits again.
Well, yeah. I mean, if Steve F1 pits again, he'll have the fresher tyres, but Demon R will have undercut him again. So it's a tricky situation. Gary side by side with SGP. SGP trying to go around the outside. Art Pal now in 8th place, trying to go around the outside of Gary. He may be able to get this done. Yeah, he can with the perhaps better tyres and the faster line.
Right. Who was it? Art Pal making the move on Gary?
Yeah, it was Art Pal making the move on Gary. Jason's all over the back of Twilight as well down into the final corner.
and Rich Blues again. They're having a wee battle this race, aren't they? Rich Blues and SGP.
Absolutely. Okay, so we've got 9.5 minutes to go. I still wouldn't be surprised if we see people pitting Formula Gary in the pits. So Jason has just passed Twilight. Twilight, we believe, is going to need to pit again. I ain't got a clue what Jason's going to do. Steve F1...
I don't think he needs to pit Jason. I think Jason can get to the end.
Maybe it might be just a little bit too much wear on those. It might get... Especially if others pit. Yeah, if others pit now, it could get difficult for anyone that's been on these tyres for 3 or 4 minutes already. I'm just wondering what's happening in the pack. So SGP has got Art Pal behind him. Dave the Harp, who's he passing? Is that Twilight? No, it's SGP, sorry. They're trying to pass Dave the Harp down the hill, and that's Art Pal and Demon R. So Demon R, with his fresher tyres coming back at them. SGP makes the move. Dave's gone wide. He's going to lose 3 places. Art Pal, Demon R, side by side through Mitch's bomb hole. Can they do it? Yes, they can. Yes, they can. Dave manages to hold on just ahead of Conrad as well. Let's not forget that Conrad pitted at the same time Demon R did. So if we're thinking Demon R's got a chance of trying to catch Steve F1, Ray, then surely Conrad's got a chance as well. Twilight's in the pits.
I think it's too late for Twilight.
I think you're right. There's nothing that can be done about Twilight.
Nah, he just couldn't get past people and pump in the fast times, as we see Demon R and SGP going down to where we're going down to Brokeback.
Yep. Well, Conrad now right behind Demon R. This is where Demon R will not want Conrad attacking him at all, because I think if Demon R and Conrad can get past SGP, I think they can catch Jason and Steve F1. I mean, it's a bit of a big gap at the moment, but it could be doable.
I think Conrad's lining up Demon R. He's not waiting behind him.
You might be absolutely right. Is he going for it? No, he's not. Well, Demon R was having a look down into the hairpin. SGP's got a little bit wide, may have been assisted a little bit, but that's Demon R now trying to go side by side. And for Demon R and Conrad, this is kind of what they need to do, side by side. SGP's in the wall. Is Conrad going to be able to make the move? It looks like he's trying. Here comes Art Pal. I don't
Somebody
think
was using boost there. I don't know if it was Demon R or Conrad. Demon R. Conrad's boost light's red.
Is it?
So it must have been Conrad.
No, it's green.
Was it?
It's
was
currently
red a minute ago.
No, they're green. Okay. Demon R is going to try and make a move on Conrad down into turn one. I mean, what I will say is that may have just cost these guys a little bit of time. So I don't know what the gap is between Steve F1 and Jason and then these guys. What's it going to be? 1, 2, probably about 7-8 seconds, something like that. So not easy to pull that back in 6 minutes. But with that little bit of boost and the benefit of the slightly fresher tyres, anything is possible. Question now will be, can Jason hold on to his tyres and that second place? Can SGP hold on to his? Gary pitted not long ago, so with fresh and Twilight. You know what? You said it's too late for Twilight. Twilight is now on the back of the pack, and at the front of this gaggle of cars is Conrad.
Yeah, I think it's going to be 6 minutes. I think Twilight's got his work cut out for him, especially for his overtaking.
Well,
I said that he's going to get through Gary, past Gary. Oh, 3.
He tried it. He had a look. He's not made any positions.
Two pitties.
Gary back in the pits again.
Yeah, that's freed up Twilight. So he's only one Art Pal to stop him from catching up the back of Demon R. So okay, I'll take my words back.
Yeah. He's having a look all over Art Pal. Keep an eye on the pack as well. Demon R behind Conrad. Twilight could do with either making a move or working with Art Pal. There is Steve F1. Tyres looking pretty good actually with 5 minutes to go. So he's obviously been able to look after them. I don't know what Jason's tyres are like. Maybe we'll get to see them now. Yeah.
5 minutes to go.
Well, the thing is, I'd say they're okay, but Conrad and Demon R's bump drafting Conrad. Okay, so these two now working together to close the gap.
Tyres are fine.
Yeah, well, I think Jason is going to find himself in a situation where he's getting caught. He may want to stay out. He may think about pitting. I think Gary and SGP just pitted thinking, or Gary and someone else pitted thinking, have the fresher tyres towards the end. What these two don't need at the moment, though, is to get held up attempting to get past Jason.
Something's happened with Twilight because he's got Dave the Harp in between them now.
Ooh.
He only had the Art Pal.
Art Pal into the pits. Yeah, well, maybe Dave just caught up and overtook. Conrad making the move on Jason. So around the outside he's going to go, but Jason's trying to come back at him. Little bit of contact. Conrad off a little bit. I think Jason may have backed out of that. Yeah, he has. I think he's backed out of that. Demon, where is Jason? Oh, there he is. So yeah, I think Jason did back out of that. He tried to fight it in there, couldn't quite do it. I wouldn't have thought it's cost him that much time, Ray, but I suppose we never really know, because we haven't got a clock that could show us the gap between these two and Steve F1. But I think looking at it, considering that there's only 3 minutes 20 seconds to go, and that gap's looking about 7 or 8 seconds, I don't think they're catching him.
What would that be? That'd be about, what, how many? 2 to 3 laps?
2-3 laps, and they'd have to do 2-3 seconds a lap. I can't see that happening. If they were in about 6th, 7th or 8th, then yeah, they could gain that time, but they're not. What have we got here then?
Twilight's just cleared Dave the Hart, but then he's got Jason to overtake. Oh, Dave the Hart's coming back at him.
That he is. So side by side, they nearly go.
Yeah, I don't know if it's Twilight's got the better tyres than Dave the Hart, but yeah, I think with the pack, it's just caught Twilight out a wee bit, because there's SGP
and Rich
the
Blues.
What? SGP?
Yeah, SGP pitted recently with about 5-6 minutes to go, I believe. I'm sure it was SGP that pitted when Gary did. So this is kind of like what I was trying to sort of get in. Twilight and Dave the Arp still side by side. Here comes SGP to pass Dave. I think a few of the guys have kind of tried to pull a tactical blinder right at the in the last 10 minutes to pit, say 5-6 minutes to go, and have the fresher tyres to give them the advantage. Twilight may end up being a little bit of a sitting duck here. SGP, is he going to have a look up the inside? Yes, he is. Dave the Arp's looking and defending. Rich having a look around the outside. SGP trying to go up the inside. Jason's gone wide. I didn't see what happened with Gary.
Gary's in there as well. I think he lit up the back tyres.
Okay, you know what? This is getting very, very an interesting close battle. Jason is coming under so much pressure. I'm now thinking Jason may have wished he pitted. Gary's used all his boost. Twilight making a move around the inside. SGP trying to go around the outside. Dave the Arp trying to do a switchback. Jason has just someone called the police, because Jason's just been mugged.
And now Rich Bros, Dave the Harp and Gary 3 wide.
Yeah, SGP also trying to make a move on Twilight round the outside. Jason trying to defend. Dave the Arp's up the inside of him though. No, he's not. He had to back out of it. I think Twilight. No, Gary went round the outside of the two of them. So Gary's got himself up into 6th place. Holy cow! This is absolutely fantastic stuff. Can SGP do anything about Twilight? Twilight's going to be on the slightly more worn tyres. I don't think Conrad and Demon R can do anything about Steve F1. Side by side they go through the S's, and Twilight holds on, and SGP's on the boost.
On the boost.
Oh, here comes Gary though.
SGP's got no boost left.
Oh, he's used it. Oh, Gary, who's that up the inside? Oh, Gary having a look through the middle, can't quite do out about it. Oh, Bal and Dave the Arp side by side as well. We're on the last lap of the race, Ray. There's only 15 seconds to go. This is an immense battle. Twilight's got some boost. He's got to use it, surely. He's got to use it now. Steve F1's coming around the final corner. He is using it. Yeah, Conrad. Oh, SGP up the inside. Steve F1, where is he? He's going to cross the line, take the win. But we don't care about that at the moment. There's a great battle going on. Conrad second, Demon R third. This is the battle. SGP, Twilight on side by side. Oh, so close. Holy shit. Oh, what
Jesus.
a race. Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hartpal got Twilight on the end there as well.
Yeah. Oh.
I don't think... Did he use his boost or did he forget?
I think he might have used it all. Maybe Hartpal had a little bit left, but holy cow, what an end to the race. What an end to the championship. I mean, absolutely brilliant. My jaw's aching. Give me a second.
I thought you'd be used to your jaw aching.
Don't be dirty, Raymond. Oh dear, wow. But yeah, I mean, what a race that was. Some brilliant battles through that, absolutely. So many side-by-sides. Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Steve F1 ran away with it in the end, was just too quick, takes the win, did what he needed to do, But to be honest, I think he needed De Minaur to either get 15 points worth of penalties or get a DNF. So, I mean, Steve did what he could do, which was win the race. The rest of it isn't in his hands. Conrad, brilliant race from him to come through and get that second place. I mean, some may say that De Minaur bump drafted him. Sort of robbed us of a battle, but to be honest, I simply think that was De Minaur thinking, right, 2 cars can catch one quicker than 1 car trying to catch one. So that's what they were doing. They're working together to close the gap, and I think it was working until they caught up to Jason. And then after that, Conor was able to sort of pull away a bit from De Minaur. De Minaur, though, will more than likely be confirmed with the championship on that. Who finished in 4th place? SGP. God knows what his strategy was. Maybe it was just to be on good tyres at the end, and he's made it work. Art Power, done very well to finish in 5th there with Twilight. Twilight was so unlucky. He was in that 4th place on that last lap, wasn't he? And so unlucky to not finish in 4th.
Yeah, that was so unlucky.
Who finished?
Rich Blues. So Twilight 6th, Rich Blues 7th.
Wow.
What a great race, and some battles he was having with SGP.
Yeah, absolutely. But this is what we were saying last week with saving this track to the end of this championship. It gave every driver the maximum opportunity of driving this car, and then to go to a track that they should really, really, really know. And I think that showed with Rich. He was able to really go at it today, and it was brilliant to see. Gary having a brilliant race as well. Dave having a brilliant race. I think it was unfortunate towards the end there. Jason, God knows what strategy he did. But yeah, he was...
I think he tried to copy one of SGP's.
He might have been better off copying one of Dave's or one of Gary's. But yeah, I mean, he was so unlucky as well. I mean, it's what we were saying though, wasn't it? I think that's what De Minaur and Conrad would have been hoping that happened to Steve F1's tyres. That they went off enough that they could catch him up and then he'd be in trouble. I think the problem with that theory was that Jason, I think, was in a bit more of a battle, so had more wear. And I mean, it's one of those things, we've mentioned it before. If you're out front and you've got a gap and you can not cruise, but if you can just take all the punishment out of your tyres, it does make a big difference, and you can still go quick doing that, and it puts the pressure on those behind to catch up. I don't know if there's anybody that I haven't mentioned from the race there, but yeah, I just want to say this championship has been so exciting to watch, and I think the end of this race then just epitomised how exciting this whole championship has been.
Yeah, that was fantastic championship, fantastic racing from the drivers, and what a show they put on every week.
Absolutely. And
even though they don't need to put on a show, but they put on a show.
Well, talking about putting on a show, the G-Spot will be available on Monday, maybe at 6 p.m. I will mention though, it's a longish one, but there's a lot.
Depends how long it takes to process.
Yeah, well, that's true. Yeah, there's a lot covered on this week's G-Spot, but that's what it's there for. So yeah, we'll look at all of the incidents from that were reported from last week, and a couple of other items as well. So although it may seem like it's a sort of very long video, I would sort of bear in mind it's kind of 8 to 10 minutes a section, really. So we've tried to do it as quick as we can. I mentioned earlier to you, Ray, about if you had the opportunity to go into space, would you?
Yes.
Because I was thinking I would love to go into space, and I know you're thinking there's a punchline coming, but there isn't. It's just one of those things where I mean, I was thinking about like how technology is advanced. So like when we were kids, or when I was kids, we'd watch Star Trek, and like in the Next Generation when they had touch screens, and now it is I mean, back then the idea of a touch screen was fantasy, whereas now we do have touch screens, and there's so many things like that.
A touch screen that's on the Dragon SpaceX capsule.
Oh, is there? I'd not seen.
Yeah, they don't have controls. They use touch screens to control it.
I didn't know. Well, yeah, I suppose. Yeah, they're on the chair, aren't they? On the side, on the arm.
No, the screens come down in front of them, and it's all touch. It's no. There's no joysticks or anything.
So not only
plus half of it is see, like a car that's got self-drive.
Oh yeah.
So like
a Tesla.
Yeah, most of it is program type thing with all different things in place if something goes wrong and whatnot. Or
so rather than having to go through a multitude of checklists, you can check one thing and it'll do the multitude of checklists for you. I tell you what though, that's impressive if those touch screens work with when they've got the gloves on, because obviously that's one thing a lot of touch screens don't work if you've got a glove on.
Yeah, it works. Like I watched when they done the demo, and then I watched when they actually
took off,
launched them. Yeah, because did they not do the demo with Bob and what's his name?
Bob Mortimer?
No. Bob. Jesus, I can't remember the guy's name.
DeGrasse
I think
Tyson.
they done demo was with them, and then they sent up the crew.
Who is it that does the other shit?
It's the guy for.
Oh, it's Amazon guy, isn't it? Bezos. Right, because he took. He took that. The Star Trek guy up, didn't he? What's his name? What's his name?
Shatner.
Oh, yes, it. William Shatner. Yeah, that's right. Do you know he started up a lingerie company? Yeah, it didn't take off though. It failed. Apparently, no one wanted Shatner panties. That's the longest setup for a joke I've ever done, but it's worth it.
Oh, it was Douglas and Bob. They were the two astronauts
Fair enough.
that flew it, but it's all touchscreens.
Fair enough.
There's no joysticks. But
there's no Shatner panties, are there?
No. Well, I would have been in case.
Okay, right. What we can do is, because there's been no reports put in, Ray, we can actually confirm the race result and the championship standings. Would you like to go through the race result for us?
The race results? Yeah. So in first place we had Steve F1. What a great race. What a great championship. Shut up. Second place, Conrad Racing 96. Great racing, great championship. I think he's missed a couple of races, but yeah, he's been there and he's newlywed. Yeah. So, great racing. And then third place, we've got this guy called Demon. I don't know. But yeah, he puts on a show. He does our race guide videos as well. So yeah, he's been helpful. He's been doing some great racing, and he always pulls something out the bag somewhere. Sometimes.
Well, that's what I call it.
Yeah, maybe. I might be a Bernie rabbit.
Yeah.
And fourth place, Dynamic GT League SGP. So, again, what can we say? Great racing. It's had a good season. Not as high up in much of the races as they would have wanted to be, but yeah, I think he's had a couple of races where he stuck in the pack.
Yeah.
But yeah, fantastic. And then fifth place was Artpal 16. Strong driver, fantastic battles mid pack. I think his main was Formula Gary. They were quite side by side quite a lot. This was it this season? Yeah, sure it was. Can't remember. I may have been last season and I've just forgot about this season, but yeah, I always good side by side battlings with Artpal. So great driving. Sixth place, Twilight Zone 76. Great driver. He's actually won a championship. He likes your.
I thought then you was going to say he likes long walks and dressing up as a lady on a Saturday night.
It wouldn't surprise me. But yeah, great racing, great battles. He surprises us sometimes with great results. And then 7th place, Rich Blues. He's not in his 8th place. What's he doing? He's out of sync. Yeah, 7th place, Rich Blues. As we've seen today, great battle with SGP. Some tracks he's not too sure of, and over time he'll get to know the tracks and kind of roughly where they go. 8th place, Jason. That's one for me. I wouldn't expect Jason down in 8th place, but he's a strong driver. Usually second half the race, he's flying. But yeah, always a great driver, very strong driver as well. 9th, Formula Gary, F1. What can we say about that? Gary, duct tape. Gaffer tape. Yeah. But yeah, he's had great battles with people. He's had some great driving, great results. So yeah, I don't think fault him. 10th place, Dave the Harp. Now, I think in practice, Dave the Harp was looking quite strong. Maybe the pit stops just didn't go quite well for him. But yeah, again, another strong driver. Great side-by-side racing. Good in battles and that. So yeah, fantastic racing.
Also likes a bit of Tina Turner.
Yeah, Tina Turner.
I think there may have been a bit of contact with someone in the final lap as well, which I mean I can't say I saw much, but so yeah, because Dave was in that battle, and I think he lost out. But
and we had 5 drivers away.
Yeah.
No, 6.
Yep. Well, what we'll do is we'll have a look at the championship standings then. So Demon R is going to be confirmed as champion. That's championship number 8. Hogging all the stars. Steve F1 finishes in 2nd place. I mean, it was a close battle. The fact that it went down to the final race of the championship just goes to show how close it's been. So Steve F1 2nd place, 9 points behind. SGP, you mentioned how he's had a bit of a sort of up and down season. 109 points, so 57 off the lead, but he's in the top 3. And I think partway through the season, that would have been his main aim. To finish in the top 3, because I do know that he sort of kicked himself a few times this season, having made mistakes that he's not been pleased with, and that can happen. Art Pal finishing the championship in 4th place on 96 points, which means
fantastic.
Well, yeah, it's a good result, but also his passing Twilight just before the line would have been the difference between being tied for 4th or being 4th on his own, I think. Because Conrad finishing in 2nd place in the race finishes the season in 5th on 95 points. Although, as you mentioned, Conrad did miss a race or two. Jason in 6th place. He's also missed a couple of races, so he's done well to sort of get that 6th place, 84 points for him. Twilight, he had a bit of a difficult start to the season, I think, but as we were joking early on, doesn't like this car, doesn't like this track. By halfway through the season, he'd got on with the car, and he was really able to take the fight to people. But yeah, it was unlucky that I'm trying to think if Twilight has missed a couple of races as well. I think he may have missed 1 or 2. Formula Gary finishes in 8th place, 65 points for him. Good result that for Gary. Dave the Harp finishes in 9th, 61 points. That's the lowest Dave's finished in the championship for a while, but Dave also has had a couple of holidays over the course of this championship, though, so did miss a couple of races. Rich Blues, again, I think he may have missed 1 or 2 while being on holiday. 10th place for him, 58 points, and his result today means he jumps above Jimmy, who finishes in 11th place on 57 points. So Rich Blues, you can screenshot that and post it on Jimmy's wall at work. SRI unable to race in this one, but yeah, 12th place, 42 points. Sort of up and down championship for SRI. And then Hay finishing in 13th place on 19 points, Fluffy 14th on 16, Bunsell 15th on 11, and Mitch 16th on 0 points. Unfortunately for Hay, a lot going on in the personal life, which is why he's not been able to make the races recently. Fluffy has also been extremely busy, so he's not been able to make the races. Yeah.
Crazy frog.
Ding, 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 ding. Bunsell, having moved house, changed job, and when we say moved house, turns out he's camping on the mother-in-law's front garden, and no, that's not a euphemism. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, that's why he's in the front garden, because he has.
I'm not staying in that house. I'll stay in the garden.
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if that's what Bunsel's done. It's like, I love you, my dear, and I love your family, but I'd rather sleep in a tent in the garden with beer and the dog. Thank you. But yeah, so Bunsell not been able to get online anywhere near as much as he would like. Well, he's not been able to get online. And Mitch, also life getting in the way. And obviously on last week's G-Spot, we also mentioned about the process that we're going to go through in potentially looking at new drivers. But yeah, a brilliant championship, battles all the way up and down the standings.
Now we've got to remember this was the ending of a 3 championship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we had the Expo to start with, and then we went up to the F1500, and this was the top of the Open Wheeler.
You know what might be interesting? Because I know that at the time when we were planning this, we knew and we decided it would be 3 separate championships. I am interested to know what people's total points would have been over the 3 championships. I might try and put that together, and yeah, just for personal viewing. But yeah, it has been sort of a trilogy that has come to an end. But the racing does not come to an end because, Ray.
Because next week we go to a new season.
Yeah.
The DTCC.
which stands for...
Dynamic Touring.
No.
I don't have a clue.
You took a guess and it was Dirty. Dirty Touring Car Championship.
Dirty. All right. Well, I should have known that, being a dirty champion.
Yep.
Dirty Touring Car Championship. And it's a Group 4 Intensa 4-wheel drive. It's set at 350 brake horsepower. You can have a minimum weight of 938 kilograms. That is your minimum weight.
Can you have more?
You can have more if you want. But
you'll be slower.
It might be slower, but would it help? Don't know. Boost. Now this is a new one, so you might be able to add the weight because the boost isn't what we normally have it. The boost is going to be strong. This is going to be a tight battle all the way to the line. Slipstream is strong, and then we're hitting in with another new setting. Damage is going to be light, so you smack somebody hard, you're going to get damage, but over time the damage will replenish itself, which brings a new thing. So you smack somebody up the rear, you're going to end up damaging maybe your bumper, a wee bit your engine, depending how hard you hit them. Remember not to kamikaze them. Tyres are going to be sport soft, so bit of grip in them. I think pretty stable. Hard to pit somebody unless you're into a corner. And remember, guys, on a straight you cannot pit or force MD off the track. You can have a bit of bashing of doors, but as long as you both stay on the track on a straight. Tire wears off, fuel wears off. It's going to be a 5 minutes qualifying at race 1, race 2 onwards, previous race order. 15 minutes races. Do you want me to go through the tracks, or do you want me to wait?
I can do that. So 15-minute races, and there'll be 2 races each week. So week 1 will be Red Bull Ring. That's where we'll have 5 minutes qualifying for that race, and then go into a 15-minute race at the Red Bull Ring. And then we'll have a 15-minute race at Blue Moon Bay A2. That's in field A2, I think. And then the next week, we will have Nürburgring GP. There won't be any qualifying, obviously, because it's on previous race result. Excuse me. And if you weren't in the previous race, you'll start at the back. So it'll be Nürburgring GP. Then it'll be Miami, and it's not the long one, it's the really short one. Week 3 will be Brands Hatch GP and Autopolis Short. And then week 4 will be Goodwood and Tokyo South Inner Loop. What I would mention, I know Ray's mentioned a few of the details there about what you can and can't do. I'm sure we will repost the what you can and can't do video to let everybody know, because I know when we had a bit of we had a few laps the other night, a couple of guys had forgotten what they can and can't do. As Ray mentioned, there are a few differences in this dirty championship to other ones. You can't just go smashing people off wherever you want, whenever you want, and you can't go cutting corners either. So check out that information, because what we don't want really is to end up having to look at incidents during a dirty championship, do we?
No, not at all. It's for fun, giggles.
Yeah.
Even though every season's for fun and giggles, but just something to lighten up this series. It's seriousness of some of the championships.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, the Dirty Championships we've done before, where you can sort of, other than like, no kamikaze, you can pretty much do whatever you want. And the whole idea is, yeah, go for it, do whatever you want, just don't kamikaze. And he just lets loose. And this is of a similar nature, where it's like, yeah, bang doors, yeah, hit someone up the arse into a braking zone, but do it within these parameters. Like, if you're going to be hitting someone in a braking zone, you better have been making the corner. If you hadn't hit them, that's the whole sort of process. So the idea is that you are to be staying on the track, but you can help people off the track, but not on a straight when you're side by side. You can do it hitting them in a braking zone up the arse. You can do it squeezing them off the side of the track on the exit of a corner. So yeah, but yeah, check out the information.
Question.
Go on.
If somebody does smack somebody off the track and waits, it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
We never discussed this, did we?
Well, no. Are you wondering, well, what happens if somebody does that and doesn't wait?
No, I was wondering what if somebody did that and did wait, because we never discussed that.
Well, if somebody knocks somebody off the track when they shouldn't, then I would say, yeah, you probably should wait for them. Now, we don't want to be in a situation where we don't want to be having incident reports. Let's put it this way. I think the way we've dealt with it before in Dirty Championships is the stewards are away now until the next main championship.
Admins are in.
The admins are in, which means if you're going to put a report in, you're probably going to get told, yeah, whatever. And then the person that may have done wrong will be told, yeah, don't be a dick. So yeah, we'll probably embarrass them. There won't be any G spots that I'm planning on anyway. But yeah, so it's one of those things. We're there to enjoy it. It doesn't matter what position people finish in. It's just about having the laugh and the fun and the relaxation of it. So yeah, and talking about having a laugh and a bit of fun. And no, this isn't a joke, Ray. You know, last week you mentioned about like if someone turns up for a set of golf clubs this week during the race. Yeah. And I mentioned that I went to get a set of golf clubs off a woman. Yeah. And I kind of got the impression she might have been flirting with me, or at least asked the question, made the comment of, oh, well, your missus won't be happy with you taking up space with the golf clubs. I was like, no, I'm single. And that situation, was she trying to find out if I was just single, or was she just making conversation? There is now more to the story. Well, after having spoken to you and you going, well, did you find out? Did you ask her? It bugged me and it played on my mind, and I thought, you know what? Fuck it, I'll ask. Let's see what happens. So I send her a message, okay, and it goes like this: Hi, just wanted to say it was nice meeting you and your lovable ball of fluff yesterday. And that unless you have a boyfriend / girlfriend, husband or wife that might get offended, then I wondered if you would like to join me for a drink sometime. Took me ages to write that message, by the way.
It took you ages to write so many words, a sentence.
Well, it took me ages to put sentences together without sounding like an absolute knobhead, because I'm not very good at this kind of stuff. And then I got the reply. 2 days later, hiya, thank you, I'm very flattered, but I'm only interested in women. To which I replied, so am I, smiley face, thanks for letting me know gently though. Oh dear. So yeah, there we go. Right, I think we've just about come to the end, haven't we?
Yeah, with that one.
With that one, yeah. Yeah, definitely come to the end of that. Right. Thank you, everybody, for joining us in the Dynamic GT League. Yes, we're going on to a Dirty Championship, but yes, we should still be doing race videos. Although things will be done potentially a bit more relaxed. So yeah, have fun, everybody. Thank you for watching. Hit like, subscribe, notifications. You know what to do. Check out the merch. Blah blah blah. Thank you to all of the drivers for taking part, all of the admins for putting everything together. Thank you to Ray for joining me on commentary, and thank you to everybody that watches. Thank you, Ray.
No worries. Thank you.
You're welcome. Right.
And thank you for you doing the videos.
It's alright. No problem. Right. Have a good one, everybody. We'll see you all again soon.